Welcome everyone to Trend Micro Talks. I am your host, Erin Tomie, and today we're talking to the Zero Day Initiative's Head of Threat Awareness, Dustin Childs. Dustin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Erin. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Very happy to have you on the show again. This is our second time chatting, and I would love to just chat through your current role at Trend Micro first.
Sure. So as you said, I'm the head of threat awareness for the Zero Day Initiative, which means I look at threats from a lot of different angles. We deal with a lot of bugs at ZDI, and I'm able to connect the dots and kind of tell that story of threats from both a bug perspective as well as an attacker perspective. We have threat hunting teams within the ZDI as well. So I connect those dots together and kind of tell that story to the press and to our customers.
Well, Dustin, last time we chatted on the show, we were focused on Pwn to Own, which is a competition run by ZDI. Today, we're going to take a step back a little and talk about ZDI itself. ZDI is known as the world's largest vendor-agnostic bug bounty program. But for those who aren't familiar with this side of cybersecurity, I really want to break it down. So, what is a bug bounty program? What is a bug? What does it mean to be vendor agnostic? Just break it down for us.
Okay, well, let's start with what is a bug. A bug is a flaw in software that allows someone to potentially exploit that piece of software. Maybe it's a denial of service, maybe it's a privilege escalation, maybe it's remote code execution. But really, it's just something that an attacker, a threat actor can use to compromise a specific target. Now, a bug bounty program is a program that's set up to purchase those bugs from people around the world. So we do deal with security researchers from around the planet. We're on 6 continents, haven't broken through Antarctica yet. We're working with the penguins, but we do, people all around the world, they sell us these bugs. So we pay them money and they essentially provide us intellectual property in the form of a bug. Now, what does vendor agnostic mean? There's different types of bug bounty programs. Like a lot of people have bug bounty programs today. They used to be very controversial. They're very common. So Microsoft has a bug bounty program and they buy Microsoft bugs. Google has a bug bounty program. They buy Google bugs. Apple has a bug bounty program. They buy Apple bugs. We have a vendor agnostic bug bounty program, which means we buy Microsoft and Apple and Google and IBM and Trend Micro and Dell and everybody else. We don't buy every single bug that's out there, but we buy a whole lot of bugs. So that allows us to see a broader stretch of really the bug bounty marketplace than a vendor specific program.
I have a few questions based on your answer. The first one being the researchers that ZDI is buying these bugs for. Do they work for ZDI? Do they work for Trend Micro? How does that relationship work?
No, so the researchers we're purchasing from work either as independents, they're on their own, or they work for different companies. They don't work for Trend Micro. Although we do, especially in the US, we send them 1099s. Essentially, they're independent contractors. But since they're around the globe, they could be in Hanoi, they could be in Cairo, they could be in Ethiopia, they could be in Czechoslovakia, they could be in Canada, they could be in South America. So they're all over the world. So it allows us to enhance our threat research by opening it up to literally thousands of researchers around the planet who are contributing to the security of Trend Micro products.
My second question is, you touched a little bit about, you mentioned that bug bounty programs used to be controversial. Now they're very common. What created that shift?
Well, I'd like to say that the ZDI helped create that shift. We've existed since 2005, and the first bug bounty program that really existed was only about 2 years before that. So it's just become more common that it's become more accepted as we've professionalized bug bounty programs, that it's okay to ask independent researchers around the world to be monetized, to have their research monetized, to be able to reward them financially for reporting a bug in a coordinated manner rather than exploiting it, rather than selling it on a criminal marketplace. It's tough to find bugs. It's hard. This is difficult work. This is a very specific skill set. So we want to financially reward the researchers who are willing to come to us and disclose it in a coordinated manner so that we get the bugs fixed.
Great segue. So ZDI purchases the bug. Where does it go from there? How does ZDI get the bug fixed, as you said?
Okay, so that's the cool thing. So once we buy a bug, we hand it off to our filter team. So we have people who take a look at the bug and then develop filters for Trend Micro products, specifically Tipping Point, and push that fix to Tipping Point in the form of a virtual patch ahead of a vendor patch. And then we report it to the vendor. And the vendor doesn't get a chance to ignore us because they know that they have 120 days to respond to this. So they either produce guidance, they produce a patch within 120 days, or we go public with specific amounts of information to allow defenders to, essentially guard their networks regardless of what the vendor response may be. So we take it, we make Trend Micro products better, then we report it to the vendor, and it gets patched. So that's one thing that's kind of unique about our program, is that we're really taking action on the bugs that we're purchasing to make Trend Micro products more secure and to differentiate them from our competitors.
And diving into that a bit further, talking about why it matters to Trend Micro. Why is Trend Micro invested in this program, working with ZDI? How does it help Trend products, our customers?
Well, we're gaining threat intelligence at a level that no one else is doing, because when we say we're the world's largest, we really are. We published over 1,700 advisories last year. We were 74% of Adobe CVEs came through us last year. So we're seeing bugs that no one else is seeing, both through the contests and through our regular program. So all the threat intelligence that we're purchasing and all the threat intelligence that we're developing, because ZDI researchers, they find about 30 to 40% of the bugs that we are actually disclosing. So all that threat intelligence is baked into Trend Micro's security products. So whether it be Tipping Point or Vision One, it's all getting out there somehow, and it's a product differentiator because there's no one else in the world that sees as many bugs as we do, in the way that we do. So that gives us a leg up when it comes to any of our competitors or any other products that are out there in the marketplace, because we're seeing across the board, whether it's Microsoft or Adobe or Google or Apple or what have you, we're seeing bugs that no one else has.
Dustin, is there anything else about ZDI or bug bounty programs that you would want to share with people? Basic things for them to know so that they can go and share this in their networks?
So sure, one of the things I talk about a lot of times is Trend doesn't have a vulnerability scanner, right? So we don't sell that. So when we're talking to customers, ask them what the vulnerability scanner they use, because they know, okay, this isn't a sales pitch. But what I do want to say is, well, where do those vulnerabilities come from? And a lot of those vulnerabilities come from ZDI. So we disclose so many vulnerabilities according to Omdia that we have about 60% of the disclosed vulnerabilities came through our program. So we have, again, that level of threat intelligence, that level of visibility across all bugs that no one else can really compete with. And for people in Trend Micro, if they are finding bugs, hey, report them to us and we'll disclose them and we'll take care of it for you. It's really great. There are a lot of reasons why people come to ZDI rather than going straight to a specific vendor, but it's a lot of fun. And we see some amazing bugs that come through the program, whether it's PaperCut, whether it's MoveIt, whether it's Microsoft or Google or you name it. We see some really, really cool stuff. And if you have questions, hey, I'm always available. I'm on Teams and I never sleep. So it's cool. Just hit me up.
Dustin, thank you so much for all those responses. I think we gave people a really good breakdown of ZDI and bug bounty programs, and I think this will be a really good place for people to start when they want to learn more about this side of cybersecurity. Thank you again for joining me, your second time on the show, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me, and yeah, it's been fun.